My name is Ryan Gladshofer, and this is The Locals. I'm going around the local community to spotlight the heart, hustle, and muscle of local businesses, entrepreneurs, and people that have the courage to strike out on their own. Because it's not easy. It takes a financial as well as a mental toll. Your weaknesses are exposed, you have to know your strengths, you have to remain competitive, and it's not an easy task to take. I'm starting off here in Barrington, Illinois at a local print shop called The Imprintery. Owned and operated by Amanda Bielaga. They do print work, embroidery, custom designs, and much more. Let's go check it out.
I'm Amanda Bielaga. I own The Imprintery, and we do custom apparel, embroidery, laser engraving, pretty much anything you can personalize. There's not really a place that you can just go to get Barrington Spiritware off the shelf. We're able to pivot and do a lot more things than like a normal print shop would. We give you more than enough variety. Sometimes it's like knowing when to cut that off. It's like, you have 30 logos, I think you're good.
There is something tangible about the connection that you make with someone local in the community. Why is it so important to come in to your shop?
I have a superpower. I'm really good at figuring out things that people don't even know what they need. When you're coming in to design stuff, you could tell me what kind of specific needs you're looking for, even if it's, only a couple ideas, and I could help flesh it out for you. Our embroiderer could actually walk you through how to personalize them, where to place it, how big we can go, what would look good when it's actually embroidered. There's so much other stuff that you can do when you actually talk to somebody. At least we know whatever we're putting out, we've actually had our hands on it. If you're just ordering from somewhere else, you're flying blind, you really don't know what you're getting.
It's the interpersonal relationships that you're creating, and that's how your client base has grown.
We have really good clients, and I actually really enjoy just talking to them. It's fun to have that little interpersonal moment, and they're very gracious and understanding.
You're helping to create a community through Spiritware. Can you tell me more about how that's brought people together?
There's school Spiritware. We also support the families that support their kids. You might be able to get your uniforms from someone else for the actual team. There's not really Spiritware for the moms and dads that cheer them on, for grandma and grandpa, all the customizations that you can do for that.
It's incredibly courageous to venture out on your own business. Was the goal to get a job? Was it always entrepreneurship?
I have a bachelor's of fine art in painting. I feel like I'm one of those many college graduate students that go, okay, I have a degree, now what? If you see my house, there's paintings everywhere, and it's like, okay, what do I do with them? Especially some of them, because they're a little more risque than others. You can't really display them all the time.
Why is that in the shop?
Yeah, that I inspire my niece, and I'm like, oh, good luck.
There you go.
I wanted something that was more accessible and something that I could actually make money at. I was sick and tired of other personalities and other situations that were just a toxic environment that there was nothing you can do about. I kind of just like having control over stuff. It's partly pride to, come up with something cool. I've done murals and people are like, oh, how do you paint clouds or whatever? And I'm like, saw a tutorial on this. Give me the brush. I could figure this out. Not that hard.
Aren't you a Bob Ross?
I mean, I love Bob Ross, but everyone used to give him shit. But honestly,
these cute little trees that we're putting in the background. How did you start putting yourself out there?
I'm totally an introvert.
For any viewers watching or anyone that is an introvert, they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. How did you do it?
Nobody knows what they're doing.
So
it's just a different strength that you have.
Any small business is like paddling your own canoe. You don't know what's going to come up. You might hit a rock and you're taking on water. You have to plug that hole.
You don't have a canoe and it's not a paddle. It's not that nice. Maybe you have a raft. You're by yourself with no guide whatsoever. If you're going down rapids, it's like, okay, that was a class 5 and this time we flipped and we're eating gravel. I'm going to keep paddling because I'm a glutton for punishment.
You couldn't have known that when you were first starting out into your own business that any of these things were going to pop up.
I think you do have to have your hands on a lot of things. People always say oh, you're micromanaging. Everything is like a pendulum. You could swing back and forth both ways where you're maybe too obsessive over stuff and then maybe you get too lax over things too. People say oh, I go into business to, make money, to have more time with my family, all this nice stuff. And you're like, oh yeah, I know it's going to be hard work. And then you don't know what you don't know. I didn't even know how to actually do payroll. How do you logistically do payroll? No idea. It's not like I went to business school. If I actually talked to myself back in the day, I would say all the stuff not to do, like don't hire that person, don't let people tell you how to run your business, don't feel guilty about how much you're asking to charge people. There's so many boundaries and so much self-work that you have to do because it exposes your weaknesses. It really does. It's hard, man. It's really hard.
The business is its own monster.
It is a monster.
The business is one thing. As a wife, mother of 2 children,
Jesus.
On top of all of this, work-life balance.
This is our CFO, and that's our CEO.
What are some important decisions that he's made as CFO?
He likes to liquidate assets. That's why I say this is number 1 right there. Or number 2, we're not really sure. I know, I'm sorry. You're getting squished. Sorry, dude. Until you actually like parent your own kid, it's all hit or miss, guessing, trying not to just be buried by your failures.
Before you were married and had kids, what drove you?
It was a passion, and again, I think I'm just crazy enough to try it.
I hate using the word crazy or insane. I think it's extremely disrespectful to anyone because you don't know anyone's personal situation.
It's obsessive. I was working for someone else and they closed up shop, but I had a lot of people saying like, hey, you should do this because you're good at it and we still need something like this in the community. If I went back in time, I would have planned things differently. I would have had more financial stability. This one was just like a leap of faith. I was just like thrown into it.
Were you doubting yourself?
No, I was scared just to go like off the ledge. There was a lot of people that rallied around me and they kind of helped push me off that ledge.
Now you have a family. What drives you now?
How can I more efficiently run my business so my staff can take care of the day-to-days and I could budget my time to be more effective here so I could also have time with my family. You wish you could just be like, okay, I could take a whole week off, but if you don't work to that point of delegating, making sure your staff is like trained well, all that kind of stuff, you're not gonna be able to take off that week and like really relax. And I don't think there's a lot of people that talk about this kind of stuff. The couple places that you can find information, they're really gems. I literally thought I was like losing my mind by just how this business was evolving.
For anyone watching that's interested in starting their own business, as someone that's been through the thick of it, what would be your advice?
You have to have the gusto to do it. Like, go balls to the wall. The faster you could establish your worth, knowing that you're like good in the space, the better off you would be. You just have to listen to your gut. I ended up on like a personal, emotional journey. If you see a successful person, they're like, oh, they're standing on top of like their mountain of success. No, it's just a bunch of failures that they were able to climb themselves out of, you know, because you have to like learn from your mistakes. You don't get buried by them.
Where can people find you?
Our website is theimprintery.com. Walk into our shop and we can help you with pretty much anything you're looking for. So we're here in Barrington, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Mandy, I cannot thank you enough for being so open, for chatting about your business.
If you start a business, good luck. At least
right.
you know, like, I'm part of your support group.
That is a wrap on the first episode of The Locals. Really appreciate you guys watching. If you like this content and want to hear more about entrepreneurs and business people in our area, hit that subscribe button because we're going to be spotlighting some great people. Thanks to Mandy for her time and for the Imprintery for showing us around. I'll see you next time.